Welcome to the exciting rebirth of Superstar, featuring choose your membership rate as low as just $3 a month. At Superstar, you get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes, class passes for Synchronicity University, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. Hello, fabulous superstar Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of July 2022. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. And it is a massive and important month. And it only builds in importance as we move later and later into this month. So let's take it one at a time. On the 13th of the month, we will have this month's full moon. Now, this full moon is going to take place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with profound change, profound truth. It also has to do with your relationship to financial institutions and your understanding of the resources available to you. Now, what makes this full moon so distinctive is the way in which it is amped up in power now. It is close in the sky to Pluto. It is speaking in harmony with Neptune and speaking in supreme harmony with Uranus. And so we can see here all three outer planets are intimately involved with this full moon, making this an important turning point moment for so many of us out there, and that includes you as well. This is one of those moments where you may come to some depth of realization about yourself and feel transformed in the process. This part of the sky has to do with endings you consciously choose and where it is that a certain situation has fulfilled its usefulness. This is where you're able to recognize where you're different and where it is now that you're ready to transform things in a way that authentically empowers you, that allows you to be more true to yourself. Because this part of the sky has to do with wealth and things like grants, loans, bursaries, benefits you qualify for, all of that being covered here, well, it does suggest that you may be focusing in on a matter having to do with prosperity or money or wealth available to you. And of course, you will be able to meet whatever moment or whatever the moment asks of you in that given moment. But yes, this may be a time when perhaps you've finally paid off your student loan. Perhaps it is that you've come to understand what's worth the money, or perhaps you've come to understand wealth differently and what you thought of wealth before just doesn't do it for you anymore. This could be a time when, after a period of trying, finally the benefits you qualify for come through. So these are just some possible scenarios that could find you. But remember, this is a very important time. The money you need will be there. Sometimes you have to do a little bit more to have it show up for you. And yet, at a time like this, when so much could change so quickly and for the better, it looks like you are feeling very grateful for how generous the universe is with you as we navigate the days around this full moon in the middle of the month. Now, as we navigate further, it is going to be on the 28th of the month that we will have this month's new moon. This is a very fortunate new moon happening in a communicative part of your sky. This part of the sky also has to do with siblings, cousins, and neighbors in your life. And so it is this particular new moon that is going to be speaking in supreme harmony with Jupiter. Jupiter at this point is at the height of its power, standing still in the sky and turning retro. So whenever a planet is standing still in the sky, it is as close to the Earth as it is going to get, which magnifies its importance to us, symbolically speaking, as is the case for you now. It is as if you know the right people who are able to deliver very fortunate news. It is as if you find yourself in the right place at the right time, connecting or reconnecting with a friend or an acquaintance. And it just makes all the difference now for how it helps you to change things for yourself in a meaningful way. There could be very good news related to a sibling, cousin, or neighbor in your life, or it could just be at this time that fortunate news comes via email or traditional mail, and it seems to feel like a very fortunate turn of events for you. Now, the very big news, the rare event that's taking place, and really one of the most important moments of the year, is going to happen at the very end of the month. It will be the triple conjunction of the North Node, Uranus, and Mars. Now, this triple conjunction, this divine meeting, is happening in the sign just before yours. And this part of the sky has to do with closing karmic ties, ending karmic chapters, knowing what has served its purpose in your life, being grateful for the space being created for the new and the next to find you. Now, I see important celestial events like this in this part of the sky as you understanding what now you can release so that you can live more fully in this lifetime. It is a deep appreciation of all there is yet to do in this lifetime. It is the sense of freedom that brings a renewal of life that can find you now, and a renewal of gratitude for the life that you have ahead of you yet to live. And again, all that you have yet to do in this lifetime, which I think is going to be part of the excitement at this time. Think about all those times in life when there was a closure and you were grateful for it. You were like, oh goodness, thank goodness that chapter is over. That's the kind of energy we have here. Now, sometimes in the moment, it may not feel very fortunate. I mean, this is very strong, very surprising energy, but it's like its time has come. And whatever it is that closes now, it brings with it a new beginning. It is a doorway opening from which new people, places, things, situations enter that represent karmic blessings. And yet there's something that is almost unconscious about the new. It's what is conscious that has to do with the closures. Now, regardless, understand that in time more will be revealed. This is the very beginning in some ways. This is the seed moment in some ways. Chances are there will be surprise. For some, there may be shock, and that's why it may feel uncertain as to what is best to do going forward from here. And yet, very quickly, as you navigate into August, a lot of those pieces are going to come together. I want to give you a little bit of a heads up here, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but next month, Mars is going to enter your sign. I'm going to be here to talk about it every step of the way, but the reason I mention it now is because next month, when Mars enters your sign, and in September enters shadow, I mean, really, that's going to begin a very extended period. You're going to have about 7 months of Mars in your sign. This is going to be remarkable. It is all about these new beginnings, and just when you know what they are, you realize that you're frustrated, or you realize that it isn't what you thought it was going to be. And I'll have a lot more to say about that once we navigate further. But I wanted to mention it now because I feel like what's happening now is part of this perfect dance of the sky, in that it is helping you to create space. What's going to fill that space, I think you're going to be experimenting and trying to figure out as we move into the second part of the year, and especially into next year as well. It's like you're figuring out what's going to fill that space, and you will find it in its own time. The important thing is not to rush it, to be open, and to allow. That is a position of power for you now. Now, where it comes to matters of love, I want to go back to that full moon that is happening mid-month. I think that is going to be a very powerful moment because in addition to the things I mentioned, it has to do with feeling a sense of attraction or almost fated pull towards somebody. It has to do with being more vulnerable and more intimate with someone as well. And this is really a moment of truth as to where your feelings actually lie and with whom. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, yes, I do think there likely is going to be a very powerful sense of being pulled in a particular direction. Now, ultimately, what that means is there's a lesson here. It's always up to you to decide what's right for you to do in light of your unique circumstances. But know that that lesson being evoked now is about your journey, where it is now that you are ready to understand yourself more deeply. And what happens now, especially in the middle of the month, could serve as a catalyst towards more sweeping change in your life. For those of you just starting to date somebody, I see this full moon as all or nothing. Either you're all in or you're really not. You are being very honest with yourself at this time. If you're all in, this energy does suggest a deep bonding, a closeness that can happen now. But if you're not, this is truly ripping off a band-aid, being honest about that and going in a whole other direction. And for those of you in an established bond, well, look, for some in established bonds, this energy could play out where it comes to your partner's finances. They might come into focus in some way around the middle of the month. The overwhelming majority of Geminis out there are going to find this a time of connecting more deeply with your partner, being more vulnerable, and feeling that much closer. For a very small percentage of Geminis out there, if you know you're not in the right relationship for you, this is where you are reaching that new level of honesty with yourself and also feeling empowered to make a change. What I love about this month for you, well, there's a lot here. It's a very powerful time, I'll tell you. I am going to say I actually really love that new moon energy late in the month. There's just really fortunate energy playing out. I know that there's a lot stirring within your soul and your psyche and your spirit, especially with that powerful meeting of the North Node, Uranus, and Mars. And yet, just days earlier, that new moon just promised good news that feels positively delightful, filled with hope as to what this means for you now and moving forward from here. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month. Would choose your membership rate at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com, where you get expanded exclusive video scopes each and every week. Now, higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Link is in the description below. And thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.